Alright, so we're back. I don't know if you've seen my previous video. We started doing the tutorial in my native screen setting. It's a little easier for me to see, but if you have a problem with it, let me know and we can compromise on that. So, one of the last thing that we did was we created a rifle. We put it into our hands, and now our character has a rifle, and you can run around with a rifle. The only problem is right now he just can't shoot. And to do that, we have already created a projectile, and that's perfect. We just want to open up that projectile, and over here in this little blue thing that pops up, if you do have it, some people may not, go ahead and click that, and that will open up the actual blueprint itself. And so we want to get some sort of look for it, and default scene root is just not going to do. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Can we get rid of that? No, we can't get rid of that. Alright, let's add a component. Let's get a sphere under the basic shapes. Nope, actually never mind. Let's get rid of that. Let's get a static mesh. That's what we want. And then on your right hand side, after you select static mesh, we'll go ahead and change the static mesh. In my case, currently, I probably do have some sort of ammo that I can use, but I'm not going to use that. I'm actually just going to use a sphere right now just to make things simple. Sphere is quite large on the scale over here. I'm going to do 0.1 on all three columns, and that'll drop it down. Actually, I think I want that even smaller, so let's do 0.05. Copy that. Double click, paste, copy that, double click, paste. What I'm using for paste is Control V as in Victor, and then copy is Control C. And then, so we'll compile, we'll save, we'll go back to our example map here. And so now we have a projectile. Let's bring it into the game. Let's kind of see how big it is. Click play. That should be alright. Alright, so we'll get rid of this projectile in the scene, and now we'll go back to third person character. So this is where we're going to start working into these a little bit more. I think I might have been ticked down there. So we have a weapon that spawns here, but we don't have anything that comes out of it. The first thing we need to do is start at the beginning of the chain. We want to right click in a blank spot over here, and for this case we're going to use our right mouse button to get things started. And then when we press our right mouse button, we want to spawn actor from class, and then we want to fill in that information with our projectile. Sometimes, depending on your project setup, you may have two of them. One of them is the one... Oh, wait, actually, no, never mind. That's from my stupid zombie spec. Never mind, my bad. Sorry, don't listen to me. Anyways, you know, we all make mistakes. So, compile, save. We need a transform. And this is where things are going to get a little bit different. We want to go to our third-person example map. Our gun was a skeleton, which is perfect, because if we remember, we did a... my bad, wrong one. I want the skeleton for it. We did... I'm going to go ahead and delete these. The ammo eject and muzzle flash. We're going to start from scratch on this. So, we have our rifle, and we need to give it a socket. So we're going to go to the root, and it's important that it's on the root for this case because it's a solid material that's not going to move at all. We're going to add a socket. We got a socket right here. We're going to rename that, and we're going to call this one muzzle. Now we want to move it up, and we'll put it right here in front of the muzzle, like just in front. While you're right clicked, you can scroll down, and that will slow down the pace. And if you scroll forward, it'll speed up the pace. So a little neat trick if you're trying to work with little details and things like this. It's pretty well lined up, I'd say. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pop it out just a little bit more, knowing the size of the projectile. So this is where it's going to spawn as soon as you press it, the right mouse button. So now, we don't have any references to it besides casting to whatever, which we're going to do right here in event begin play. No, never mind. We're going to do it here in spawn weapon. I'm going to move this to an open area. So in spawn weapon, we're going to take this return value for the spawn actor rifle base, and we are going to actually promote that to a variable. I'm going to take these, I'm going to stretch them out. Alt. If you hold Alt and then you click left click, it'll get rid of the node. I'm going to rename this one weapon. Now, what this is doing is we're setting an object reference to another blueprint here within your third-person character. So now your third-person character has a reference to this specific weapon that spawns. And so we'll go back over here to our spawn projectile, and we'll drag out weapon, and we'll get weapon. And now we need a transform for the socket within the weapon. So we're gonna get socket bone name from the skeletal mesh. It's gonna look a little long. That's okay because we're just getting a whole bunch of references. And then off of this, you want to get socket transform. Maybe back this up a little more, bring this up, push this out, and return value goes right into there. So in socket name, we named it muzzle, if you remember. Collision handling override, we want to always spawn ignore collisions. We'll compile. We got a problem right here. We're gonna take the skeletal mesh from that. There we go, nice and neat. We'll compile. So this right here will spawn our projectile. And we seem to be having just a little bit of an issue with it. So, where were we? Yes, we go to fire, but nothing comes out. Projectile, go on this projectile right here. We need to add a component, and we need to add a projectile movement. Oh, I didn't, no, not two M's, just a single M. Projectile movement. We got initial speed is 0. We need to make that, let's make that 200, and max speed 200 as well. Projectile gravity, let's just make that 0.1. Go back to the play, and now you see we had one fallout. That was weird. Well, let's debug third person character. Open up, move it over. Maybe we're not far enough out. Oh, you know what? I see the issue. We wanted to use left mouse button. That's our issue. Complete. Yeah, see. Alright, so our issue here, we're going to need to go to the projectile. The static mesh collision presets, and we want overlap all. Compile, play. Oh, my thing went down here. Now we don't get that thing anymore. So now we know that this is working. Let's go down to projectile movement and scroll up to the projectile. Let's make this 2000. And complete it. Now we're firing at a reasonable reasonable pace. We might have something wrong over here. So we get the socket name from muzzle right there. Go to assault rifle, we got the muzzle right there. We could probably just get rid of this bottom part here and just type in muzzle. Compile, save, play. Yeah, there we go, it works. That's what we had to do. Now that we can back this up just a little bit, put this back into the place that we had originally intended, save it. Go back to the third person play. Looks fine to me. Now the problem I see is that when we do the whole firing thing, there's not much going on besides the ball coming out. And we have to work with little steps at a time. And so we're going to go to projectile. We have our base for our AI right here, our basic zombie. We are actually going to keep this as a master blueprint, meaning that anything that we make from this, like we're going to make other types of zombies later. And we'll show you the child blueprints, and I'll go over that. But we'll go over all of that, and we're gonna need to go to the projectile, event graph, and the reason why we're gonna have a master blueprint is so everything is gonna be made from that. So when this goes over any type of zombie that we have, rather than doing a different blueprint setup for each type of zombie, we could just have one. So we go to static mesh, we go to viewport. And then we go to, on the right hand side here, I'm going to scroll all the way down till you start seeing these green things. And you want, on component, begin overlap. And that being the static mesh. We want other actor. We want to cast to basic zombie, because that'll get the information from the basic zombie blueprint, and if the mesh collides with anything that is from the basic zombie blueprint, it'll continue to execute. If anything else, it won't. It'll stop right here before it even goes. So as the basic zombie, we don't have health, so third person example map, I mean the map that we're using. We want to go back to the AI, open up the blueprint, go to the variables, create a new one, call this one health, make it a float, compile, let's make that also 100, compile, save, and we'll go back to our third person character. I lied, we want to go back to projectile. You want to get health, and off the health you want to set health, plug that right into there, and every time something happens where these two things collide, they're going to change the health. Let's do a minus float right here, float minus float, and let's do 25. We'll plug that into health, set health instead. That's what we want. We want to take the current health of the zombie that we hit, and we want a minus 25, and the sum of that will go into the set, and that'll set it. So if we hit them once, 100 minus 25 is 75, so it'll set the health at 75 for that particular one. So We don't have any animations or anything like that for when the zombie dies, but that is just okay for now. We'll get that set up. So back into here, we don't have anything for a health check health check system. So you want to do a custom event health check, and I believe we went over this already with our third person character. And immediately off the event begin play, we're gonna do a health check call function for this custom event. And on the health check, we're gonna do a branch. I'm gonna take the health, get it underneath, drag that off of it. We want to press the equals button. It'll automatically pull up the float equal float right underneath that. It should be returns true if A is less than or equal to B. We want that one and keep that as 0 and plug that in. If it's false, we just want to do a short delay, and let's do 0.1 second, and we'll do a or run health check one more time. And if it is true, let's do a delay of 0.5. My atrocious spelling. Stop movement immediately. And destroy actor. I actually want to take this delay and pop that around to the other side. Mainly because I want the movement to stop before it destroys, and I want a small delay between there. We'll compile, we'll save, we'll play. And we have an issue. Oh, no we don't. It was just a little bit of lag. So it worked just fine. Play. We'll just start shooting him. You see that? He died after 4 shots. So one thing that we can do, just to check to make sure everything is working appropriately. Right off of false, let's go to do a print string, and we'll drag it to health, and this little node will pop up in it. That converts. We'll compile, we'll save, and we'll play. And you'll notice at the top left hand corner we have 100. We shoot him, and for some reason we are taking off 50. See, I noticed something was a mess. 1 shot, down to 75. 1 shot, and he's dead. We're taking off 50 somewhere. So let's go back to the third person character. We got the left mouse button, and let's set firing. Oh, let's make a variable for set firing. I like to have proper caps sometimes. Just bugs me when I don't see it. We're gonna compile, and I'm gonna set firing to true, and I shouldn't have put set firing. I should just call it firing. So let's set firing true, and then bring out the left mouse button. We'll pull off a branch on that as well. We'll get firing, plug it right there into the condition, get false, and if it's true, nothing will happen. And then off of that, where was I going with that? Oh yes. And then let's set firing untrue. Let's drag these out just a little bit. In between this, we'll do a do once. And then right off of this not firing, we'll do a reset. Actually, off of that, we should do a delay. Let's give it a 0.08. We'll take every... So right now we're on just single fire. Yeah, and this seems to kind of work. Alright, so... right after this, we should do a branch. We'll delete this firing out of here. We'll actually take this released key. We'll set that firing to false. We'll take this branch, we'll take the firing, we'll put it in the condition. And if it's true, it'll go all the way over there. And reset. Oh, hold on. Take false and put it onto reset. And if it's true, keep firing. Let's put it on spawn actor projectile and compile. Now you may have not have noticed, but we've also created a firing speed as well, unknowingly. Still taking 50. Well, that's a problem that we can solve later. Let's move on. So we have the ability to fire. Let's go to our character movement on the left. And then we want type in no, we want third person self. And then on the pawn down here, pitch is going up, yaw is left and right, roll is obviously rolling over. So we want yaw. Click play. What this does is it moves our character like that. And we can kind of aim. We'll fix all that later, but now that we have a small aiming thing going on, let's take our third-person example. I mean, our third-person character. Let's take the camera and move it over 60. Compile, save. There. Now we can kind of see what we're shooting at. So, we still need a couple things going on here. So what we have here is our guy. He can run around, he can get damaged by the fire, he can get damaged by this enemy here, he can shoot the enemy. Technically it's still very, very rough, but we don't know his health. So let's get a HUD started up. Here I already have a HUD. I'm going to delete that from a previous run. We're going to create a folder for our HUD. And this is anything that's going to pop up on our HUD. And the first thing we want to do is right click, go to user interface, and to the bottom is Widget Blueprint. When that pops up, let's just name that HUD, HUD. And we're going to open that right up. Let's take a border and let's put it right over here. On the right hand side, we're going to see content, content color, and opacity. We're going to, nope, sorry, my bad. Next one down, appearance, brush color. We're going to click that white space right there. And we're going to dim this down to about black. And then we're going to take the A. We got the R, red, green, blue, and alpha. And the alpha will determine its opacity, whatever. Let's make that 0.25 sounds good. We'll go back over to our border. We'll stretch that out. Now, you can put this wherever you want. I'm going to put it over here at the top. I'm going to shorten it just a little bit like that. When you do it, make sure you have an anchor. So you anchor it to a place that you want it to be. You'll notice if I go like this on my right hand side, I'll show you the anchor, what the anchor will do. Third person character, compile, save, we'll go to event graph. Right here on event begin play, right after the health check starts running, we want to create widget. Open that up, and on the class you're going to select the HUD that you've created, and on the return value you're going to add to viewport, and this is going to add your HUD to your main screen. You'll see now that we have a little black bar up the top from that. I'm going to go back into my basic zombie over here, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this print string. Mainly because we don't really need it at the moment, but I am going to keep it just in case we have future debugging sessions going on. So back into your HUD, on the left hand side, we're going to take that progress bar and we're going to put that inside of the border. Now what the border does is it creates a nice little area for it to automatically expand to the size you want, and we could put some like padding onto it, like actually that padding is just fine. So we'll click on the progress bar. I'm gonna rename this for my sake, and we're gonna call this health bar. On the right hand side, if you see fill color and opacity, it starts off as like a tealish color. I'm going for more of a green. Let's darken that green up a little bit, right about there. And click OK. We'll compile, we'll save, and on the progress, we're going to go ahead and put that at 0.5. This is now my bar is half full right here. But we don't have this linked to anything. If we click play, it's just a half full bar. We go into the fire. Nothing happens because that's not linked to anything. So right next to the percent, you'll see bind. Click that and create binding. Let's spread these apart just a little bit, and right after the first node, we want to cast to third person. My spelling ruins it again. Cast to third person character. Off of the object, we are going to get player character. Player index is going to be 0. I've never mentioned that before. You're probably wondering what that is. That's if there's more than one player, they get categorized into indexes. But when you're playing by yourself, you also get categorized as an index. But your index number is 0, the very first one, and you're the only one in that list. So we're just going to leave that as 0 because that's what it is. We'll get health off of the as third person character. And this is where we're going to do a little bit of math, because compile, save, we'll go back to our designer over here. If you look, this bar only goes to 1. Luckily, we have a 100 for health, so the math will be kind of easy. So you want to hit the slash button on your keyboard and the forward slash, and you'll get float. And you want to divide that by 1. Take 100, divide it by 1. That's going to be 100. Am I right? That's what we want to do. Into the fire. Nothing's happening. Maybe it's health divided by 100. Yep, that's it. 100. So 100 divided by 100 is 1. 50 divided by 100 is 2. Hold on, I just really confused myself with the math here. I don't know. I'm terrible at math, so I'd rather not have this go into a math video, because then I'll learn something and I'll get way off topic. So now we got a health bar for our character here. This is a bit of a long video, but we're going to cover quite a few things in this. Alright, so one of the things that we do want to cover is what we have here is we shoot, but we just keep on shooting. There's no end to it. We can hold down the button, we can just blast, and that's it. There's just absolutely no end to it. To fix this, we're actually going to add a couple things. We're going to go to the variables, and we want to do current ammo. I'm going to change that to a float. We're going to add another one, max ammo. And the reason why we want these is we're going to keep track of how much ammo we can have at the max. We want to keep track of how many ammo we have at current. So the max ammo, we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick with 30. 30 shots, and the rifle sounds, you know, good. Sounds realistic. Alright, so we're also going to want to keep track of ammo the same way that we keep track of health right here. A little repeating pattern. It always tracks the whatever. So we're going to custom event, and we're just going to call that ammo. And off of the ammo, we are going to get hold on. Alright, so we start firing. Every time an active projectile spawns. We're going to go back up here and we're going to change a few things. We're going to go set ammo current. Right off of this, we're going to get the minus float minus float. I'm going to get current ammo and plug that right into there. Now we're going to go back over here and go off false. Are you firing? We're going to do another branch, and off of this one we are going to get a equal or greater than float. Oh, that's less than. Equal or greater than float. And if it is equal or greater than 1, your current ammo. And if you have at least one shot in your gun, we're going to put it goes to true and goes through this line, and then it takes away one of these. And then I'm going to kind of neaten this up real quick, just so I can kind of see what's going on over here. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da da da. La da da da. I don't know why I got that song stuck in my head, but I do. Alright, there's a little bit of clarity going on here so we can clearly see what we're doing. Alright. That's if you're still firing. Let's do another branch. Go back over here. We're just gonna. Oop! I pressed Control X and that cuts it. Don't be alarmed. Just press Control V. Comes right back. Control V here. And we want to check again to see if it has the ammo to continue. And if it does, we want it to continue. If you are still firing, and if it does not, we're just going to leave it at false and just let the line stop right there, just for now. Now we need to check to see how much ammo we have in it at all times. Let's branch. We'll check current ammo. We want equal or less than 0. Plug that into condition. If it returns true, we're going to have to reload. And if it's false, we're just going to delay. We're just gonna delay 0. Just fuck it. Alright, and if it's true, we're gonna delay. Let's see. I could probably reload if I have another clip. Pull the thing, ammo drops, pull the thing. It's about 1.2 seconds. Let's just call it 1.2 seconds. So if we go off that, we're gonna set current ammo. We don't want to set it to 30 because if we do decide to have more than one gun, we want to be able to change these and whatnot. So we're going to use max ammo, and max ammo for this particular setup is going to be 30. So it'll set current ammo to max ammo. We'll click compile and we'll click play. We'll fire. I ran out. I let go. I don't have a button for it for reloading yet. But is what I should do is let's go find my event tick. We'll run a print off of it, and we'll check the current. We'll check current ammo on it, just so we can see that it is in fact reloading. Hit 0. We'll let go. That's right, because we didn't start the function for ammo. So we'll start the call function for ammo right after the HUD comes on. We'll fire. We've hit 0. I let go. Still 0. Pop this to the side. Hit play. We'll watch it. Now this is not firing. We'll go to ammo, we'll hit here. We'll pop it up before we put our HUD on. I see it. It fires once. Let's do 0.1 second for a delay. Did not work. Oh, my bad. We don't have a call function to go back to ammo. We'll put that at the end. You probably might have caught on before I did. So now we're firing, we hit 0. There's this, oh, there we go, and it starts back up again. Bring this up. On false, we'll just turn set firing off. And we'll bring this around to the reset. Compile. We'll play again. Perfect. Now we can still fire. We'll work on his stance and all that in another video, and we can come back to other things. If you want to learn some more, I'll be going over another series covering some similar basic stuff, but also again covering some other things with another series working on different type of game. I believe that one's going to be like a hack and slash kind of sword, whatever. But this one, I'll be recording another video very shortly. Again, I apologize for the previous amount of time. And honestly, just good luck. If you have any questions, I could do my best to answer them. I do have a Discord, so if you do need it, I can message you my Discord if you send me a message or leave a comment. And if you would like, I can actually walk you through some of the steps. And this offer is going to be limited, of course, to whoever can get to me first. And I can walk you through some of the steps. I do have some time constraints, but for the most part, I will be free to do that. And I may even do a live stream at some point. So if you're looking forward to a live stream, let me know, and I can definitely set one up. And we can go over all kinds of stuff. But I'm gonna call this video where it's at now, and I'm probably gonna immediately start working on the next one as soon as this is done rendering. Won't make the same mistake of doing it while it's rendering, because that's what happened to the last video and why it took so long before. So hopefully we should see a lot more improvement coming in. We may even skin our characters and whatnot. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, get some notifications, and I'll let you know when the next video's released.